Hello and welcome to today's video that's going to be a build video. A few people have asked in the comments over the last few videos, so welcome to Simon Spritborn, the pirate, which is, I kind of love this outfit. I wish I could turn the graphics up a little bit on my laptop, but as I've said in previous videos, every single update and little patch Blizzard do right now seems to massively affect how well the game runs. So he's Simon. I love this outfit. I love the egg leg. It's just stupidly brilliant. Let's get into it then. Where to start? The main part of this build came from Ace of Spades, what was it? Crushing Hand, Orange Hulk I think it was, the build on Mobilytics, which is a Crushing Hand build, focuses on pure damage output. I have no Uber uniques. The only one I really want is the Shroud of False Death, which would be a chest piece, and then I would get rid of Harmony, because you don't really need it. It doesn't do that much for the build. I could probably get rid of this now, but we'll leave it there for now. Let's start with Spirit Hall, because that's nice and easy. Jaguar and Gorilla. When you have at least 5 stacks of resolve, you are unstoppable. Maximum resolve +2. I think my max resolve is something like 18 stacks, so it takes some 13 hits to make me not unstoppable, which is crazy because you can't be CC'd. You can just stand there in the middle of like elite attacks, the freezing circle attacks on the floor, or the terrifying attacks that fear you and make you run away. You just don't have to worry about them. I don't really know why this is there. I don't know why we're using Jaguar. It's just part of the Ace of Spades build. Let's read all of these. Yeah, it probably is the one that makes the most sense. It's just a big increase in damage, especially if you've got high attack speed, which I think this build kinda has. It's not massive attack speed, but where are we looking? Attack speed 56%. That's not huge. I think one season I had higher attack speed. Right, abilities and the skill tree. This is more or less an exact copy of Ace of Spades build, with the skill tree and the Paragon tree. I don't really think there's any changes. We've got like 1 rank in Thrash and Enhanced Thrash. We don't use it as a skill, so it doesn't matter. Oh my god, so many item contributions everywhere. Crushing Hand, we put all 5 into there, and then we've got 12 from our items, right the way up to Rampant. Nothing else really here apart from Vigorous 2 ranks and Balanced Exertion 3 ranks. Then we get a 9 Velocity, which is not really necessary. I think I have a few masterworks that have increased my velocity by yeah, I can't think of the words, aspects on items that is totally not necessary, and I need to re-roll them to get them off of velocity and onto something a little bit more useful. Vortex we do use, but it's literally just there to pull in enemies. I literally just spam every skill. Every skill there. I'll explain more later. But yeah, I'm literally just battering keys to spam everything as soon as it's available, because cooldown reductions and stuff that go on in this build are mad. We have got 1 rank in focal point and 3 ranks in apex. Just for the vulnerable damage increase. Mad. Mirage comes from all items. 100% increased dodge chance while evading. Whenever you dodge, you gain critical strike chance. It's pretty nice. If you do use evade a lot, which I try to, I just don't have. I don't have boots that have plus evade thing. I think I have ones that give me speed. Again, I'd rather have the more evades, but I just don't. So Ravager is fantastically useful. It just, every time you pop that, you seem to do more damage, which is great. When we go down to measured Ravager, then the defensive skills, because really need lots of defense, because we don't, well, you don't have to run maximum armor on this build because it kills stuff so quickly, but it does help. Armored hide up to reinforced armored hide. We got 1 rank in endurance, 3 ranks in perseverance, 1 rank in patient guard, 1 rank in counterattack, which weirdly isn't used, but we get one of our mythic uniques gives us the counterattack passive or something. I can't remember exactly, but it works. Don't question it. Scourge is just a big damage increase. Yeah, it's literally just a big damage increase down to adaptable. Then we've got 1 rank on anti-venom, which isn't really necessary. We could swap that out for something else, but I don't know what to swap it out for. Down to potency skills. 3 ranks in resilience, 3 ranks in dominant, 3 ranks in brilliant, 3 in potent, and 3 in furnace. We don't actually buy any of the main skills here. It's all about boosting our existing stuff. Down into ultimate, we've got just 1 rank in the hunter, but take it all the way to exalted. The hunter's really nice if you need to move around, because we're using cooldown reduction stuff like mad. It sort of, we get to do a lot of ultimates, which again explains me just spamming everything. Then we got 3 ranks in resolution, 3 ranks in spiritual attunement, and 3 ranks in supremacy. Just that's mostly to give us as much vigor as possible, because we need vigor in this build. And then there's Prodigy's tempo on the key passive. that's where the cooldowns come from. Every third consecutive cast of the same core or potency skill reduces all skills' active cooldowns by 10%, increase 2% for each of their skill ranks. So, yeah, stuff that you've ranked up really well, like Armoured Hide. Armoured Hide, I can pretty much be casting that. The cooldown's supposed to be near 22 seconds. There's probably like every 4 or 5 seconds. I can keep casting that, which just keeps your defense up. Paragon Tree, I'm not going to spend very long on. This again is I think it's pretty much an exact copy of the Ace of Spades Orange Hulk build. I've reached this point. What level am I? 227. I've reached this point and I'm pretty much going where I want. I think, yeah, the order was fairly simple. So it was obviously finish the starter one. We have Colossal aspect on that. Haven't maxed out my aspects. They're all, well, apart from Menagerist, which there's a reason for that, which when I get to it I will show you. Everything else, it's like mid-level 50. I've got another one at level 60. We move up to, I can't even remember what boards these were, and I don't think it tells you. Legendary nodes revealing, you can probably work it out from that. The glyph on the second board is Spirit. Then we move on to Vicious Shield. More barrier. Purely more barrier. We have to keep barrier up. Barrier gives us a big increase in attack. And that's pretty much it. Then, oh yeah, the glyph on this one is Outmatch. More damage to, physical damage to non-elites and bosses. Just helps you clear the trash and helps you clear a boss. That's it. Really simple. Then this is probably the main, most important board we have. Sapping. Restores 15% of your vigor and increased damage. I mean, because we're literally just mostly using Crushing Hand, and we've got reasonably high attack speed, it just constantly keeps pushing out more damage and more vigor. And then this is where we've got Menagerist, which grants 212 bonus to all magic nodes within range, and that's just at level 76, which is really easy to get at this build. I haven't done any pit runs to level these up for ages. I just needed this one to be high because maximum resource. That's it. Those three are probably the most important nodes in the whole build. And when you apply that, can we remove that for a second? Unequip. We drop down to 4. So we're getting 3 times the amount of maximum resources thanks to that. Which means we then have 250 vigor without a elixir, because you pretty much will be making more of these if you haven't got any. You need that 25 extra maximum resource to basically have this, your rod of Kelepiki. I've probably said that wrong, I don't care. But that rod and the Banished Lords and Ring of Midnight Sun all play off of each other. And I mean, people say Spritborn's bugged. This isn't a bug. This is just combining 3 ancestral uniques that play off of each other absolutely perfectly. I think the closest thing to a bug is allowing that much vigor for that aspect to proc every time. Because when you cast at maximum vigor, your core stills consume all vigor. So they're using 275 vigor every hit, which means that's proccing every hit, and that's giving you 50% because you do need the max aspect roll on that, really, to restore all of your vigor in one go. So you just, every time you cast, it uses it all, and you get all of your vigor back that you've spent in the last 2 seconds, which, when you're attacking as fast as we are, is probably way more than you're actually using. Right, back to the Paragon board. So we've looked at this, and then we go over to Infighter board. Oh yeah, these are the actual names of the boards. I've totally forgot that. This is our last board. We'll pretty much be buying this. So what I'm doing now is working over to take the legendary node. Then I'll work down. I'll probably work up to this one just to get more life and more resistance. Well, I could probably go to that now anyway, but I think it's more important to get Infighter before that, because that's going to increase our damage a lot. Increased attack speed, or another 9% attack speed. Yeah, then the health, and then down here we don't have to worry about this one because it's fire resistance. Kind of pointless. But yeah, we'll be going up to there, down to there. And I don't know if there's any... I don't know if it goes any further than this on Ace of Spades' build. He may have changed this as well since I last looked at it. What else have we got? Mercenaries. Mercenaries probably don't really matter. I use Subo just because I really like having everything marked on the map.
I cannot be in the wilderness.
Then he says some weird things. Oldkin, whatever. Don't really know why. I think I've got... That's nice. I've got a few of those to collect. I need to go check the den, because I've got 900 hail marks to spend. But right, that was the Paragon and skill tree. Let's get on to the main part of the build. We're not even maxed out on resistances. We're killing stuff so quickly it doesn't matter. So we will start up at Harmony. I've managed to get 2 GA1. As long as you've got 1 greater aspect, probably on all stats, all damage reduction, it's worth it. Mine's got a pretty bad aspect roll, so I only get 20% increase in damage rather than 60, because each of my skills are Gorilla and Jaguar, Centipede, Jaguar. Well, that's my main damage. That's my damage dealing skill, Gorilla, Jaguar. So I get an extra 20% damage from that. And the glyphs in there, or the runes, what are they called? Runes. I forgot what they were called. The runes in there are Zol and Zal. Invoke a skill from another class. Gains 20% maximum life for 6 seconds. It's a huge amount of life. So we end up pushing just over 10,000 life while fighting. The next one is duelists on the chest piece. Zanq, cast an ultimate skill 2 times to invoke Druid's Earth and Bulwark. As I said, I think I can cast the Hunter roughly every 5 to 7 seconds, I think it is. So we're keeping up this 20% maximum life a lot, because this is casting an ultimate skill, or invoking a druid skill, Earth and Bulwark, for 3 seconds, giving you barrier. Barrier is important because we get more damage while we have a barrier up. When it comes to skills on this, obviously I've only got a 1 GA chest piece. It is on armor, which isn't ideal. I'd rather have maximum life. And my masterworks have given me dexterity and maximum life. Probably need to re-roll that more into maximum life, less into dex. But it is what it is. Resolve stacks could be useful as well, but it doesn't matter. Things aren't alive long enough to get hit enough to drop your resolve stacks down to less than 5, which would mean you're no longer unstoppable. Then we've got Adventurous Gloves of Redirected Force. That's a bit of a mouthful of a name. 1 GA, critical strike damage. I'd again rather have the GA on maximum life, but I haven't had anything else drop that's useful. My masterworks are literally on random stuff. Probably needs re-rolling for maximum life, but it is what it is. It shows you this build is far from optimized. I haven't even maxed out the aspect on it. I'm only getting 60% of that, which might not increase anything very much. When it comes to tempering, we are more or less focusing on barrier generation and overpower damage on a lot of things. Interdiction on the legs. Maximum life GA is what you need. 5+ to basic skills from masterworking. It's probably better to have it on maximum life and barrier generation, or even resolve stacks. But again, mine just rolled. I haven't re-rolled this. I've only just realised that gem isn't maxed out either. I could have another 4% barrier generation. But yeah, the increase in block stacks, I could probably imprint that aspect again, because that must have improved by now. I've had these for absolutely ages. Heretic, Sovereign Greaves. I think this is something that differs from the Ace of Spades build for me, just because I wanted more cooldown. Again, I could probably imprint this aspect again and get even more cooldown. After casting 5 basic skills, one of your active cooldowns is reduced by 2 seconds basically. My Crushing Hands, which is a core skill, is actually also a basic skill. So yeah, and again, high attack speed. We are pulling our cooldowns on all our defensive and our ultimate skill down massively, although it is at random, so you're kind of not doing that all the time, which that is probably, the Hunter is probably the best thing to keep cooling down, but whatever. GA on armor. I mean, I'm actually nearly maxing out armor, which is not terrible. But masterworking has gone on to life and resistance to all elements. Probably reasonably important because I don't have... How do I have 182% on? That's massive. Oh, actually, that's not as bad as I thought it was. Jesus Christ, they your resistances get hit hard this season. They really do. We'll go on to the main ring, Spiritomancy Core of Adaptability. When cast below 50% maximum resources, basic skills generate 3%. But that's not the main part, it's that bottom part of the aspect. When cast at or above 50% maximum resources, basic skills grant or deal 80% between 20 and 100 increased damage. And again, that gem's not maxed out. I need to sort that out. That's a huge amount more damage. Dex, max life and attack speed are the main things on that. I should probably re-roll that attack speed for making enemies vulnerable, but I can't be bothered. It's a low attack speed roll as well, so I definitely should. And then we get down to the three most important parts of this build, apart from 275 Vigor. Rod of Kepelecki. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but there it is. Must, absolutely must have GA on maximum resource. And then you have to spend an absolute fortune of abductite, however the hell you say it. You have to spend lots of it getting 2 masterworks on maximum resource. Unless you magically can get resource from somewhere else, because you have to have 275 with a potion to make this build sort of really pop. Purely because of the aspect on it. Your core skills are now basic skills, but deal 30% reduced damage based on their vigor cost. So that's helping us do that, because core skills, basic skills. And then when cast at maximum vigor, your core skills consume all your vigor and return to full damage. Cast at their largest size and become guaranteed critical strikes. So every attack, once there is a bit of a wind up on this build, if you haven't attacked anything for a few seconds, you're sort of taking a second or two to let everything build up, let all the stacks of damage increasing stuff build up and go. Yeah, but they become guaranteed critical strikes with 2.2, 1 to 3% increased critical strike damage for each point of vigor spent this way. We got 275 points in vigor. So every time it increases the critical strike damage by huge amounts and is a guaranteed strike. It's just ridiculous, which is why you have to focus more on getting a big overpower damage than your critical strike damage. Yeah, that if you did get a pair of gloves with, I think you can get gloves with overpower damage, I'm not sure, but if you can, get them, because they'd be better than having the critical strike damage on there. Then next part of the build, Banished Lord's Talisman. After you spend 275 of your primary resource, your next core skill is guaranteed to overpower. Your critical strikes that overpower deal 20 to 60, increased damage. That's a huge increase, and the fact it's guaranteed every hit once everything winds up. Ridiculous. Absolutely stupid. 1 GA on maximum life. Maximum life is probably the most important on that, followed by overpower damage. Again, I probably should re-roll it to have Masterworks increasing the maximum life, but I can't be bothered to keep farming. This build currently works. It is definitely far from maxed out. Then we got the final piece, Ring of Midnight Sun. 1 GA, critical strike damage is fine. Mine's masterworked onto Mirage, critical strike and dex. I would probably prefer 2 on dex, 1 on critical strike, or 2 on critical strike, 1 on dex, rather than anything on anything else. But the aspect percentage is your most important thing again. I think my build, the way I've got some resource generation on my ring, I think I could do it at, was it 46% vigor regain? But if you can get 50%, great, because you're probably restoring more vigor than you're using every time. I think 44 or 46% for me would be just restoring 100% vigor every time, whereas at the moment I've got like 105% vigor reduction. If you scroll down to the bottom of Ace of Spades' Crushing Hand build, there is a link to a resource generation calculator. So you pop in your vigor generation stat here, your stat from this ring, and your resource generation from any other armor you've got, and it works out, because it's not like a linear this adds to this sort of calculation. It's multiplicative in a certain order, so it's not straightforward. But yeah, you're probably best off going on to the Orange Hulk build by Ace of Spades, finding that. I think someone made a Google Docs sheet, so you have to download it and then make it so you can edit it, which I found a bit of a pain in the ass, but I got it, and I just spent a little while plugging in numbers basically until I worked out what was the minimum roll on this to give me at least 100%. That's pretty much it. It's far from maxed out build, as you can see. I was running a non-GA Ring of Midnight Sun for a while, so again, not having an 800 item power item in this build is not that important. Not having an Uber unique is fine. This build, as you've seen from my runs, I can kill just about everything with ease, apart from Lilith, who is literally, I've got no problems with my damage output. It's just I can't be bothered to learn exactly how she attacks and what kills you and blah blah blah. I've also got the resplendent sparks I need to actually craft a Shroud of False Death, which is the only Uber unique I really want from this bit on this build, because it makes things absolutely insane. I will go from doing 1 billion damage into the trillions of damage probably with just that and some messing around reworking stuff. But that is it for now. I have to thank Ace of Spades for basically putting the basics of this build on Mobalytics. And then you'll probably notice that my build isn't that different from, I think he's got 3 different builds on his Orange Hulk thing. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Also, comment on if you think I should make any massive changes to this build, or yeah, what you want to see. And I just, huge thanks to anyone that's been watching, anyone that's subscribed over the last 2 weeks. It's been ridiculous. My videos have gone from like an average of a couple of hundred views to well into the thousands, and it's been mad. So thanks very much for that. I'll see you next time. Bye.